Yeah, there you go. Just went, yeah.
All you have to do is be on time.
Here we go.
You don't have to- as long as you're not
I
late.
literally, guys, I wish you could have witnessed it.
Who's on time?
We walked into the frame as the intro music was queuing up.
That's
There
right.
you go. No,
Isn't that normal?
yeah, well, that was exceptionally last second.
Slide in.
Anybody have their kid late for school this morning? I guess, Jesse, you don't have any kids that are late for school.
Nope, not anymore. Used to.
My kids are still very much asleep when I leave at 5 in the morning, so.
Well, you know what? Good for you. I mean, literally, you've freed yourself from some level of, anyway.
Yeah, my wife has to deal with all that.
Yeah, actually, you know, we do pretty darn well. These kids are, I mean, like almost 100% on time. This morning,
Not so much.
I'm glad I made a phone call. On the way from dropping one kid off to pick up the other kid, I just told the guys in the studio here, and found that one of them was not up. So there you go. All right, hey, we're here. It's fall. It's October 3rd. We have the St. George Marathon.
This weekend, right?
Yeah, Saturday.
I'd say it's not too late to sign up, Jesse, but it's too late to sign up.
Wait.
I don't want to make everybody look bad, you know.
Well,
With my 3-hour marathon. Well, actually, is it a full marathon?
yeah,
It'd probably take me 5 days.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think you'd be at it a while. I think you'd have some destroyed
I can
body
I
parts.
can do like a 20-minute mile. Come on.
Okay, so there you go.
20
It's
times
up
26.
26.
That's,
You'd be out there a bit, man.
it's
you-
like 6 hours, dude.
Yeah, maybe, you know, you just have to walk most of it. It's fine. I've run the St. George Marathon. One time was enough. So there you go. Well, you know, the thing about it is that it's fun. It's fun. The excitement that surrounds the race is so great. The community involvement and like, I just love it, you know? And I've said for years on the radio program that if you want to have kind of an emotional time, go check it out, go hang out at the finish line and watch people cruising through there. I love, because I live downtown, I actually, well, I work out at the rec center, St. George Rec Center, which of course is like 100 yards from the finish line. So I've been watching this week as they started putting up all the barriers, right? And first the cones went up to tell people they couldn't park where the barriers were, and then the barriers went up, and they've started, if you go by now, the race, I mean, it's set up basically at the finish line.
Yep.
So,
It seems like this
it's
time
so
of
fun.
year, over where you live, half of the time is set up with cones.
Yeah, there's always something cool going on. There's always something cool going on. So St. George Marathon, but it's this Saturday, and it's gonna be amazing, and almost everyone I know seems to know someone who's racing, and I have friends who have run this thing for like 20, I think somebody's at 20 years.
Wow.
Well, there's many that aren't, but I'm saying guys that I know, you know, the buddy of mine I actually saw recently said he'd done 20 years, so there you go. All right, Jesse, so we won't worry about that. St. George Marathon Saturday, St. George Street Fest is Friday night. Just want to point out a couple of cool things that go on downtown St. George. So that's at Tabernacle on Main Street. I think it's really cool. I think they do a good job with it, and you know, you got live music and food, and you know, a lot of tweens, a lot of teens and a lot of tweens cruising around there. You know, I mean, you remember when you were 13, 14 years old, like,
Kind of.
yeah, kind of. For me, it was the rodeo. You go to the rodeo and you would walk around the
Dixie
Sun
Roundabout,
Bowl.
huh?
Yeah. Yeah, you,
Up over the, did they have the bridge thing?
oh yeah,
Okay.
bridge has been there, you know, just forever, eternal.
You know, when I was that old, I was living a block off the Fort Lauderdale Strip when I was 12.
You were?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was a brief period of my life, but it was a great time.
I did not know that. Oh my gosh. Well, you know, and you're here today.
Yeah, I'm here today.
That is incredible. So, and by the way, I got Jesse Paul in studio. Jesse is just one of the great men that I know, business partner, friend, works with our clients day to day. So let's talk about your favorite event of the year.
Basket Brigade.
St. George Basket Brigade. You want to tell people what it's about?
So the Basket Brigade.
Coming up
every-
about 46
Yeah,
days, 45 days.
pretty close. Every year, the Saturday before Thanksgiving, we get together and we deliver a full Thanksgiving dinner, or the fixins for a full Thanksgiving dinner to nominated families. So that could be anybody that, from people that have lost their jobs, maybe they're just having a rough time, maybe they're, if they come to your mind as somebody that could need some help or some love, that's who we want. So That's what we're gonna be doing, and this is the best time of the year because it gives us a chance to give back right here where we live.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best thing we can do.
Last year, we delivered Thanksgiving to 150 families.
Yep.
This year, we're targeting 200 families, which is interesting only because we seem to always wait for we don't seem to, we always wait to the last minute.
Oh, yeah. If we started early, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves.
Let me tell you a couple things. To give people a sense, Andy, for what this event is, what it means to people, we literally do not open up the volunteer link. I'm getting choked up. We do not open up the volunteer link for people to sign up and volunteer until November 1st. And it's funny because I was visiting with someone the other day, I mentioned this in a meeting, and they said, gosh, we'd sure love to help you with our basket brigade, where you deliver Thanksgiving to these families. I think we could help you get some volunteers. And I had to smirk because I said, dude, we have to turn the volunteers away.
What's interesting is it's hard to find the families. And maybe that's why we have to clarify, if people come to your mind, then just nominate them.
I'm
Because
being
not-
challenged here that we want to feed 250 people. Is it 250 people or 250 families? It's something. 250 families?
Families.
Wow, we gotta keep going.
That's what she said.
Okay, there you go. So,
I love that she does that to me.
oh, she does that, man.
She pushes you to be better than you are.
Whew.
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like my
yes,
wife.
absolutely. So, oh man, holy smoke, this woman. So Kayla says we are going to feed we want to feed 250 people or 250 families.
Yep.
Okay. So good morning, Kayla. Good morning, Richard Dietrich, Jeff Jensen. Anybody else who's watching out there right now? So here's where we do need help. It's funny because imagine, Andy, that we have to turn the volunteers away,
That's great.
right? I mean,
That's how cool this town is though, right?
It's two things. We have that, it is a volunteering community. And people don't realize that. You get here and you get used to it. The Iron Man organization, they always talk about families, she says, raising 15 grand, which we're gonna talk about. The Iron Man organization, they talk about this. The Iron Man's going on all over the world. And they will say, we do not have a community that volunteers like St. George.
Nope.
It's kind of a Utah thing, but but number two, people want to be involved. 250 families. Wow. Okay, I way undershot this. So here's where we do need your help, and we're going to be raising $15,000 to feed these families, and we have a lot of fun. And look, we put a ton of time and money. We've got a really cool benefit event coming up for the St. George Basket Brigade. If you want to check it out, I want you to visit stgeorgebasketbrigade.org. stgeorgebasketbrigade.org. We are going to be looking for our 3 key sponsors / donors, which in most cases are corporate, donors. That's kind of how that's been. But let me tell you about some of the people who've supported us in the past. Of course, in the Larkin group, Senator Don Ipsen has been incredible. This guy has fed, he's fed like 30, 40 families himself as a donor. This is last year, Stephen Wade Auto, Durham Jones and Pinniger, Flitch Creative, these are our friends. They do a lot of our digital marketing. They've helped us. We work with Smith's and Lynn's to provide the food that comes through. Cherry Creek Radio will be running spots for us. I think we all know Cherry Creek. We're in the studio now. And our good late friend Brad Stapley, such a cool guy, and passed away earlier this year. And that was unfortunate and left a family, lots of kids, and a wife behind. It was tough, but Stapley Pharmacy has always been great. Brad and Jeff Sinister Orthodontics, Guild Mortgage, Chantry Abbott, Steve Stout, Rainbow Sign and Banner, Eaglegate Title. So this year we're looking for our 3 key donors / title sponsors. And if you are a corporation listening and you'd like to hitch your caboose to this train, it is really cool, really cool. So how this goes down, Andy, is we show up at your house. You're nominated. I don't think you'll be nominated. And Jesse says something. If you want to nominate, you literally, if you think someone has a need, they have a need. You don't have to check in and say, well, I wonder if they really have a need.
Nope.
So we show up with all these volunteers on the 23rd of November. We pack all these baskets. They're actual laundry baskets, and then we wrap them with a big kind of cellophane to make them look pretty. And inside, he mentioned, all the fixing for his Thanksgiving dinner, minus the pie and turkey, because they're cold items, and they get a gift card. And we have kids that write really fun Thanksgiving cards, Happy Thanksgiving, and you know, turkeys and things like that. And we send these out to these families. So let's pretend that you're a nominated family. Jesse would knock on your door with a couple of volunteers, and you'd open it, and he'd say, "Good morning. Are you the real Andrew? Are you him?" And someone was thinking about you and wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. They hand you the basket and they walk, and that's it. It's very, very emotional. It's a very cool experience. So, again, stgeorgebasketbrigade.org. We are just opening up our links right now. You'll find that some of the links aren't even live yet. We don't even have the nominations, donations link live yet.
That one, nominations, we should probably
Yeah.
open those too.
Well, we're trying to. So we're in the middle of that today. We just created our new nominations for 2019. If you want to get involved, stgeorgebasketbrigade.org, and then just shoot us an email on there if you want to find out about volunteering, nominating, donating. And let me tell you what we really need. We really need your nominations. All by donations. Costs about $45 to feed a family.
No, rather than that, $45, $50.
$45, $50 to feed a family. There you go. I don't know.
Do the math, 250 times 50, that's a lot of money.
It is. So, well, and we went through this, you know, like, I mean, we've been through this a lot of different ways. We said 50 a family is probably 12 grand. If we don't raise 15, it just doesn't work because it takes.
It makes it really tight.
Yeah, it makes it really tight. We have a 501c3, a nonprofit entity that we run called Larkin Group Cares, which is kind of the shell, not the shell, I don't know what you want to call it, you know, the foundation, the underlayment of the Basket Brigade. And what we like to do is find 2 or 3 families after who have a really specific, this is the kind of thing that would happen. Somebody went out to a home that was a manufactured home, they show up, park model, trailer home, something, and they go to deliver the basket, and like the porch, the wood porch, like in front of the door was just caving in. So what we're able to do after the fact is go back and say, okay, and we ask our volunteers, and the morning of we ask them, when you're out, will you please use your eyes and report back anything you see that's in glaring need at one of these homes? Then we could come back and replace their porch with excess funds. Okay, cool. Jesse?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about real estate.
Let's do it.
I know people are like, I thought this was a real estate program. Well, I got news for you.
We talk
It is-
about everything.
yeah,
You never know what you're gonna be talking
Yeah,
about.
well, and you know what, this is how we do what we do with giving back.
Everything local.
Yeah, everything's local. Let's talk about building permits. Okay, so we got the good news housing report from Southern Utah Title. Thank you. Mitch Larson, Southern Utah Title, hit our inbox yesterday. They do a little report called the Good News Report. But the funny part is it's not always good news. There was a period where it was really a lot of bad news. I remember it distinctly. Okay? I just linked it in the Facebook Live, facebook.com/Jeremy Larkin. Good morning, Rhett Smith, Jason Knoll. It's not Noel, it's Knoll. Right? You can tell me if I got it right, but it is.
You got Rhett watching this morning. huh?
Rhett's a good man. One of my favorite guys in real estate. Super good guy. Rhett helped me a ton when I was selling foreclosures, and Rhett, we're going to talk about
Speaking of
are there no
foreclosures,
foreclosures.
he could barely chime in there. We should have had him on.
Yeah.
wouldn't we?
Well, the question is, where are the foreclosures? Did we just run out of foreclosures? We're going to talk about that. So everybody wants to know, Jesse, what's the question they ask when real estate agent?
How's the market?
How's the market? So
Hey guys, how's the market?
we're going to tell you right now.
Oh, thanks.
The market is shockingly healthy.
Really good.
It's expensive. It feels really expensive, and so I've been going through a thing where I'm watching what's going on with wages, and we have this strange. There's almost it's like an unspoken collusion that everybody pays $12, $13 an hour for administrative staff positions. I'm starting to find this out. We don't, but I mean I'm watching this. In the community, and I'm starting to really see why people are complaining about wages. Like I'm watching this. As a company that's always paid decent wages, good wages, it's almost like we didn't get
We were
it.
shocked.
And I'm finding out that people wanna hire, it's almost, Andy, like, they just assume, well, it's a dual income. I mean, sorry, this is what we already know you probably have another income. So it's a challenge for single breadwinners in this community to survive, unless they are in sales or in a professional services. So, the market's great, but we have pretty low wages.
Yeah.
We really do, and this is not this per capita stuff that we talked about a few weeks ago. I'm saying really, okay, I'm watching someone important in my life go out and look for work, someone who's got incredible experience
And talent.
and talent, getting
Very
offered $12 an hour for jobs that out of state are paying 45 to 50 grand a year. Like right now, maybe there's a job, no, offered that much, right? And I don't mean in New York City or San Francisco either, by the way, regular markets, okay? So, but the market is good, and so I mean, isn't that crazy though? I mean, I'm sure it's happening right here, it's happening everywhere. And what is the solution? I don't know. I don't wanna see us go to a new minimum wage in Utah. That becomes strange, because then we become just an even more governmentally enforced state. But let's come back to the real estate market, because it's still healthy, isn't it, Jesse?
It was very healthy.
Almost zero foreclosures.
Yeah, you'll probably have 3 or 4 on the market on
Yeah.
any time.
Zero. This is incredible. A decade ago, well, not a decade ago, but almost a decade ago, 9
Almost,
years ago?
yeah.
8, 9 years ago? The Larkin Group, we were personally carrying at any time 50 to 75 foreclosed properties in our inventory, either on the market, under contract to close, or what we call coming soon. They were in the queue, and I worked with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. 50 to 75, just Jeremy Larkin and the Larkin Group that we were managing.
And that didn't include everybody else that was doing foreclosures in
No,
town.
this wasn't Rhett Smith that's watching this morning.
Right.
Bob Richards, John Ames, Shaitan Russell. These are, by the way, these are all really great agents and players who were carrying 30 to 40 to 50 to 100. There's not more than 3 or 4 foreclosures per month
Yeah.
right now.
In the home market.
Is that wild?
Yeah.
So the reason I went off on the wage thing is I want to bracket this. Because you see this juxtaposing I'm doing? One hand, the market's great. The other hand, wages are too low. On the other hand, there's no foreclosures. No foreclosures does tell us the health of the economy. It's actually an incredible indicator of the health of
Right.
the real estate market, right? Jesse, talk to us about building permits, because I like to look at how many sales we have total, and what's going on with building permits year over year over year.
So lot sales year over year, well, let's go to building permits.
Building permits, yeah.
Building permits by the year, 2018 was 2423. 2019, we're looking at so far, is that 1660?
Yeah, 1660, but
Projected was 2490
projected to be
by the end of the year.
exactly what we were last year, building permits, Andy, because everyone says new construction's kind of out of control now. Jesse, like, give these people that are these good listeners, these fine humans, give them perspective. 2,400 permits last year, 2,400 permits this year. How about 2010, 9 years ago? How many permits did we pull?
2010, 700.
700 permits.
Less than a third.
Yeah, 700. And 2011, wasn't it just about the same?
Yep, 700. 2012, it started to turn around, but it barely, up to
Yeah.
1100.
We only had 700 permits pulled in 2010 and 11, and 2,400 this year.
So this is
almost
interesting.
4 times.
This is interesting because if you think about it, last year we talked about per capita. In the state of Utah, we have more people or more families than any other state. So when you talk about population
Biggest
growth,
families. More families,
right?
biggest families.
So
all.
I've said for years, well, we probably haven't even caught up yet to the population growth. And if you look at this, 2,400 is most likely what we need every year to keep up with population. Okay, so if you look at this,
That's crazy,
2010,
right?
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, all those years, we were still playing catch up, but not making enough, still not doing enough. So I'll bet we've still got 2 more years of this 2,400
Dude, this is such a good point.
to actually catch up.
This is why if I get one zinger out of him, what do we got for time, Andy, by the way? This morning?
About 4.5.
4.5, 5 minutes. Okay, 4 minutes. 4.5, about 4.5 minutes.
I've been looking for this data to
yeah,
prove that.
Jesse
There we go.
Paul is
Boom.
with us.
Mic
Good morning.
drop.
Good morning, by the way, Daniel, my friend Daniel Zufeld, Trudy Griffin, Russ Taylor. Russell and I met when I was 21 years old, you know, like that we go. Lex Howard, Carl Dempsey. I like what Jason says. Jason Knowles says, wage stagnation is a big deal. I think technology has hurt wages for those administrative jobs. Absolutely. Of course it has. Technology in a way has hurt everything. Isn't that weird? We were out looking, let's pause. We were out looking, Kayla and I were out looking at petroglyphs last week in 2 different locations. You ever been out and seen these Black Mountain petroglyphs?
No.
They're incredible. They're out south of Desert Canyons. And she made this comment that was so great. She said, look at these people. They claim, and BLM says they're 7,000 years old. How this all fits into the biblical time, I don't know. But they're old, right? And then there's a ton of them out of Anasazi, Santa Clara. She made such a great comment. Look at how advanced they were then, right? And what they were thinking and doing. We have all this technology and all this advancement, and we've actually become dumber. Haven't we? Well, when you can't even do math without a calculator.
Well, or better yet, back 25 years ago, I
Yeah.
bet you could remember almost every phone number that you got.
Incredible, right?
I can't remember any.
So this is fun, and we're like, is this a real estate show? It is, but let's bring it back. So we have this wages are low, and too low, I feel like, and technology's changed everything, and then everybody's trying to buy a house, and everybody needs to live somewhere. You have to live somewhere, right? Unless you want to be on the street. So you have to rent a home or you have to buy a home, and guess what? Is rent expensive? Yeah, rent's expensive. I don't totally know the solution, but let's come back to this market, because Jesse, now let's tie this in. He makes the point, man, there seems like building's out of control. It's because we're actually catching up.
Yeah.
For all of those years that nothing happened. You think 2010 was low, there was only 400 permits in 2009.
Right.
It's just,
I'm willing
my report just doesn't go back that far.
I'm willing to bet probably 1,500 a year is probably stable for this market. But then you've got to take into account how many people are we attracting to southern Utah to retire, to have a second home, to have a vacation rental. There's so many other factors that, quite frankly, other markets don't face.
Well, thank you, and so valid. So 2,400 permits this year. I think this is interesting, Jesse, when I look down at total dwellings by year, as we wrap up, final minute and a half here. 6,987 dwellings, that's what's crazy, okay?
And that's
Yeah.
total, right?
Yeah, total
Is that
dwellings.
new builds and
Just dwell,
existing?
yeah, and I'd have to talk to Sudico, which we call Subco, you know what we call it. But here's the last one I want to share with people. All sales by year. We're projected to have 9,383 sales this year. That's a lot of real estate. Last year was 9,500. In 2010, we were only 4,300 total sales of real estate. We're up to 9,500. Folks, crazy. The last slide, Jesse, as we know, there's almost no foreclosures. There's almost no notice of default. Notice of default, Andy, is that that's when they give you the 90-day notice. It says you're 90 days from losing your house, okay? And I'm so grateful.
Even though the wages are low, that is a really good indicator.
This is why I
that
wanna-
the market is really still pretty strong.
So whatever we're doing, it's working, right? And we do not control home prices. We just help our clients. Visit us at soldinstgeorge.com, soldinstgeorge.com. If you've got questions about buying a home, selling a home, investing in real estate, it's still it's always an incredible time because interest rates are so low.
Yeah, mortgage rates are still low.
Maybe one day when I'm 80, they'll go up. Over and out.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Andy.
Fast.
Whoa,
Did it not work?
whoa, whoa, whoa.